All right, hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn. Today I'm joined once again with my friend Vincent LaRussa. How you doing, buddy?
What's up? How are you on this fine Sunday morning?
I'm doing good, a little tired, but doing good.
I
What we
was
get,
gonna say, it looks like you got a kiss hangover. Is
yeah, I
that what's
did.
happening?
Without a doubt, without a doubt. So what we wanted to do on this episode is do like a nice, little blast of talking about the Kiss tour, which just started up again last night. And they played in New Hampshire. I live in New York, and I took the 4+ hour drive both ways yesterday, all in one day. So I drove 4 hours there, saw the show, turned around, drove 4 hours right back home. So I got home about 4 in the morning, a little tired still, but I figured let's do a little chat, talk about what the latest leg was like, and just do a little chat about that. So unfortunately, buddy, I couldn't convince you to go, huh?
Nah, it's I had a previous obligation. I had a gig last night, so I couldn't attend.
You ever not have a gig?
Uh,
Uh,
you know,
all right. Look, I'll just start off, and we haven't even spoke about since I got home and what I thought of the show. So this will be fresh even for you and I right now. So
hmm
for me, it was cool. It was cool to see two different songs added to the set list last night. I don't know if you even saw it yet online. I posted "Tears Are Falling" and "Parasite." So two favorites of
I
mine. In
did
fact,
see that.
yeah, "Parasite's" one of my, I'll say, five favorite Kiss songs. So I was very excited that they added that to the set list, and they did drop "Let Me Go Rock and Roll." So not huge changes to the set list. I'm gonna say that it felt like I was watching the same show for all intents and purposes. But I was very pleased with the two different songs that were added to the set. What do you think of those, bud?
Well, I'm a big fan of both those songs.
Hmm.
Recently, hearing "Tears Are Falling" on this cruise with the Bruce Kulick band just reminded me how much I love that song. So if I was there last night, I would have been very excited about that. And I did see a clip posted of that. I didn't see Parasite
Okay.
this morning, and it sounded good to my ears.
Hmm.
Obviously, they like most bands do. I could tell that the song was tuned down a bit, but
Yep.
I mean that's what these bands have to do. I don't blame them for that at all.
Hmm.
Everyone's doing it at this point. Even the bands I play in the cover bands, we tune down a half step just to make
Hmm.
it easier for us as we get older. The
Yep.
vocals just are not quite there as a young 20, 30s vocalist. So.
Yep.
Uh, so yeah, no, that's great that they added those two tunes. So what you're saying is that they added two tunes and they took away one. So is there one extra song in the set now?
Yeah, yeah. There actually is one extra song in the set, and I guess it kind of makes sense because if you think of when they do "Let Me Go Rock and Roll" live, it's
Yeah,
whatever, 6 minutes long or whatever.
yeah.
So by cutting that out, they were able to add in two songs, and it's funny. Yesterday, I had tried to guess what songs I thought they would add into the set list, and I had actually guessed that they would add "Tears Are Fallen," but I thought
Mm,
it would be in place of "Heaven's on Fire."
mm,
So when they started doing "Heaven's on Fire" last night, I was like, "Damn it!"
yeah.
Figures, and then they ended "Heaven's on Fire" and went right into "Tears Are Fallen." If I remember right, there was not even really a stop in between the two songs; it just went from one to the other. So I was like, that was a little bit of a surprise. In fact, the front of the show, they did like 5 songs, 6 songs in a row that were like from the 80s or even, one from Sonic Boom at that point, which surprised me that they were going, I'll say, newer. And I use the air quotes because none of those songs from the 80s are new, but I guess it wasn't the 70s, right? So I was
hmm
surprised they were going so many songs not from the 70s all in a row. But hey, still it was cool to me. Still was cool.
Yeah.
But you're right. Yeah, the set
And
list was one song longer.
okay. And what about in regards to the show itself? Did you notice any changes visually? I know they had reduced the amount of pods, I think towards
Yes.
the end of last year.
Yep.
So was that still the same?
Yep, I counted the pods last night. It was still the 11, which is
Hold on, let me say that. I mean, we got to figure out how many fans out there actually count the pods. I think you're the only one. Okay, go ahead.
yeah. I counted the pods last night. There was 11.
Yeah.
I think the tour started off with 17, so they definitely went with the lesser pods. It was a little bit of a smaller arena. I think it held like 10 or 12,000. So maybe that's the reason. But I think this is the new norm. I think they're going with the 11 pods going forward.
I'm just curious of why they've done that. I wonder if it's some sort of budget thing or maybe a technical thing that it just makes it easier for them to coordinate all the screens. I wish I had that kind of information
Yeah.
to why that was reduced.
Yeah. I've heard that some of them were damaged when they went over to Europe last summer. No idea if that's true. My gut tells me it's cheaper. You know, it's a way to cut down some cost on the tour. The tour is doing well. I mean, even last night was a near sellout, which was surprising to me because, here, you ready for this? I did not have a ticket when I drove there yesterday. So I drove 4 hours to New Hampshire with not a ticket in my hand, and I arrived at the arena at 6 o'clock that night. And I just went up to the window and I said, hey, what's the best seat you have? And they told me, well, we have a front row ticket. I was like, oh, really? How much? $1,000. I said, yeah, no, thanks. So then I said, what's second row? She's like, yeah, I have second row. That's $500. I said, yeah, still no, thanks. I said, but what about third, fourth row? So she said, I have fourth row, and it was $280. I said, all right, that's not totally egregious. And then I said, well, what about like the lower section, the 100s? And she's like, oh, those are $170. So I said, I'll take the fourth row seat, whatever. But I figured going there by myself, since you ditched me, and since my daughter ditched me, and I had nobody else that wanted to come.
Oh, starting to see a trend. I'm wondering why.
Yeah, gee, I wonder. Last night on Facebook, I posted, "It never gets old," and Jody, my wife, posted, "But it should."
I saw that. I think I liked
that. That's great. I like that's great. So I figured it would be easy to.
I commented on that too.
I'll have to look. I didn't check when I got home last night.
I think I might have said trader or something like that. I don't know. Something to know that.
Well,
even though I couldn't attend, but
that's all right. I did invite both you and my daughter multiple times, but that's okay. I ran into people I know while I was there, so it was all good. I didn't need either one of you.
Yeah, I know. You could. That's the one thing about you. All the years, you have no problem in traveling and going far distances if it's something that you really are passionate about, which is cool.
Yeah.
And
I enjoy just sitting in the car, putting on the radio, and the 4 hours went very quickly.
Yeah.
So no complaints from me.
So is there anything else to the show that you noticed that was different? Was there, whether it was a stage thing, where they were moving around? I mean, you've seen so many shows. Right. I mean, how many have you seen on this tour?
This was my 11th show on the tour so far.
So I kind of figure, and I know the way you are,
right.
By now you kind of know where they're going to be on the stage and
100%.
at certain parts of the show. So did you see anything where they deviated from the shows from the past that you saw from last year?
No, not at all. In fact, to that point, having been my 11th show of the tour, I know, like, when Psycho Circus starts, Paul Stanley walks all the way over to, when you're looking at the stage, far right. I guess if you're on the stage, it's the left side. And he always introduces the song from, like, the little round section that usually goes, like, up during 100,000 Years. And exact same thing last night. As God of Thunder is ending, he starts walking over, and I'm like, oh, here comes the introduction to Psycho Circus. All of that stuff was, like I said at the start, it almost felt like you were seeing the same show, but with two different songs in the set list.
Yeah. So I guess that being said, let's just take away the fact that, and I know I'm going to say this and it's kind of going to contradict what I'm going to say, but let's pretend that this is not their last tour.
Right.
Okay. Do you think it's worth it for fans to go see the band again on this leg just because, it's a new leg of the tour and they're doing two songs? I know it's a tough question to answer because I think most fans are just going to say, well, I want to see them before we can anymore, so I want to get in as much as I can, and I could certainly appreciate that. But at the end of the night, and I may be asking you, this is the wrong person to ask, but did you feel like, okay, I got my money's worth? Because you're such a diehard Kiss fan, so I'm just curious of that.
Look, I'll answer it two different ways. If you haven't been to the tour yet at all, I think you absolutely get your money's worth. I think it's a great show. The stage show, I think, is phenomenal. The set list, I think, is solid. I see a lot of people saying, and I understand it, oh, they should cut out Say Yeah. Look, it's obviously not one of the most popular songs ever. But to me, on the set list, they want to represent all eras of the band. And if you're going to do that, Say Yeah, to me, is one of the best songs to choose from the current era, if for no other reason, but it's easy to sing along with people who don't know it, right? So to me, they cover the entire catalog. I like the additions with Tears Are Falling. They kept Crazy Crazy Nights in the set list. So earlier in the tour, they weren't doing a lot of songs from the 80s. So there's some more now. I think if you haven't seen the show, 100% worth the money. 100%. It's a no-brainer. If you've seen it already multiple times, then it comes down to a personal preference. You know, is it worth the $100, $70 if you're buying a cheap seat, a couple $100 if you're buying a good seat? That's a personal preference. I obviously drove 8-9 hours round trip yesterday. I think it's worth it. I'm going to go again Tuesday. So I don't know, maybe after talking about it, I can convince me, you, and maybe we can bring Billy Joel and go to Allentown and see that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, I think it's worth it still.
So yeah, I just realized when you said that, when I saw them last, they didn't do Crazy Nights. So that was an addition towards the end of last year, which is cool. So yeah, so really for those fans who saw them on the earlier leg of the tour, now you're really getting 3 new songs if you're going now, which is cool. And they're all great songs, So
absolutely. And if I go back to when I saw them last February in California, was the first time I saw them.
Right.
And at that show, they did do Hide Your Heart. That dropped pretty quickly, a couple of weeks into this tour. But at that show, they did not do Callin' Dr. Love, which has been in the set list for the last 9-10 months. So if you went to see them last year, February, March time period, that's 4 out of 20, 21 new songs that again, you've seen them perform these songs in the past, but they're still new to the set list.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, one of the things I think we should talk about, and it's kind of being overlooked so far, because we're talking about going to see them, and is it worth it? Well, David Lee Roth was the opener, so how was that?
Yeah, so that's exactly where I wanted to go next. I'm glad you're asking me that. I saw the videos online from the rehearsal that he did a couple of months ago, and I think it was Panama that he was rehearsing. Yeah. And it sounded horrible, I've seen some of the videos from the Vegas shows, and likewise, I was like, this doesn't sound good. I've seen...
Now, you're just talking about the vocals, right? I got to
Yeah,
assume.
I was talking about the vocals.
Because musically, I would think that the band, got their stuff down.
Absolutely, so. Yeah, 100%. So, I went in last night saying, well, it's David Lee Roth. I'm in the 4th row. I've seen him solo before. I've seen him with Van Halen. But, hey, you know what? I've got a good seat. I'm going to see Dave. And I was stunned how good he was. I have only one complaint about his show, and that is that he only performed for 35 minutes. Not his fault. I'm sure that's what he's contracted for, but maybe it was 38 minutes, but it was definitely under 40. I think he did 9 songs, one after the other, pretty much, which was good.
Can you say what some of the songs were that he played?
Yeah, I'm doing this off the top of my head, so let me think. Of the 9 songs, 8 were Van Halen. So the only song he did solo was Just Like Paradise. So I remember that. That's easy. From Van Halen 1, he did Ain't Talking About Love, You Really Got Me, Jamie's Crying. He did Dance the Night Away from Van Halen 2, Jump. Let me think. There's a couple of others in there also that I know I'm missing. I'm
surprised he didn't do anything from Eat 'Em and Smile. I mean, he could have done
nothing from Eat 'Em and Panama.
It's interesting.
He did Panama.
Of course,
so I put that Panama recording up on YouTube last night, and I purposely recorded that song because that was about 2/3 of the way into the set list. And at that point, I'm like, yeah, he sounded really good. And I wanted to post that song just for people who were trashing what he sounded like in that rehearsal to almost do like a little comparison. Look, he's not David Lee Roth of 1978, right? Let's get that straight, right? But even David Lee Roth of 1978 live was not the most incredible singer in the world either. Let's be honest.
And it wasn't really. And I just want to speak about that because a lot of people, and I've kind of debated people about David Lee Roth as far as a vocalist. I personally think David Lee Roth is a great vocalist.
Okay.
The problem I think with Dave has traditionally been is the guy can't be serious for more than 3 seconds. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So I think when he does his vocal performance, he's like all over the place. He's not really focusing on like, all right, this is how I deliver the line on the record. I'm just going to shoot, by the seat of my pants, and I'm just going to do this freestyle way of doing it. And it sounds sloppy and weird and whatnot. But I think, again, we've talked about this in the past, whether it's Ozzy, Dave, Paul Stanley, as soon as you hear that vocalist, you say, wow, there's no other guy sounds like that. So I really think he should be more respected as a vocalist in the sense of what he's done on record.
Right.
And more so his concert appearance. But I'm glad to hear that. I mean, me personally, I wasn't there, but I no disrespect to the guy who was the painter who did his thing, but I would prefer to have 2 musical performances, and especially from a legendary artist. And I think that's a nice little touch, and you know, even if you're on the on the cusp of like, should I go, should I not go? I think just the David Lee Roth thing alone is the thing that should push you over the edge, you know, in the positive way,
Yeah.
to see Kiss on this leg.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And you know what? We started saying about the stage band there and all of that stuff. That was one of the things great about it being such a short show. I love Dave, right? Like I said, saw him with Van Halen, saw him solo. But his shtick sometimes just gets a little old to me.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know how else to say it. And
yeah.
35 minutes, that was kept to a minimum. You know, he opened up with Ain't Talking About, no, not Ain't Talking About, You Really Got Me. Went right into Just Like Paradise. And the shtick was really to a minimum. It had to be when you're playing only
Yeah.
like 38 minutes.
Right.
And his band, you mentioned his band before, top notch, incredible. The harmonies they would do on the songs were just, you know, when they did Dance the Night Away, I swear I actually had goosebumps. It really was that good. First off, that's one of my favorite Van Halen songs.
Yeah,
and
me too.
To be that close, having, you know, seen Dave, haven't seen Van Halen, but never that close. Being that close, I'm still like, that's freaking David Lee Roth up there. Holy crap. And,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, he sang it, some of the songs in a little bit, you know, different the way he would do the verses or whatever. That's David Lee Roth. You take it, you know, that's what it is. I agree with you 100%. If you're on the fence of going to this tour, Dave is an incredible addition. You know, I had said last year I did not want to sit through an opening act where I did not know any of the songs. I'd rather see the Painter. But this is different. You know, this is, you know, you got well, one was a cover tune. I'm assuming it's something he did solo. I didn't know the song, but it lasted like 2 minutes, so I really didn't even notice it was a song, to be honest with you.
So he did do Hot Dog in a Shake?
He did no, he did not do Hot Dog in a Shake, unfortunately. But you know what? He was doing Vegas, and I know he did Beautiful Girls, Tobacco Road, Just a Gigolo, what was some of his other ones, California Girls. So I'm hoping with Dave, you know, unlike Kiss is probably going to stick to the 21 songs they're doing right now. I'm hoping on a nightly basis Dave mixes it up because his band's rehearsed with all those songs.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, it makes me even more excited to go to a few more shows on this tour and see Dave multiple times. And I was shocked. I thought I would see Dave last night and be like, all right, I saw him once. That was horrible. I'm good. I don't need to see him again. But it was excellent. I really thought he was excellent.
Cool.
So,
Well, it's like, you know, it sounds like this was a great evening for you, and you more than got your bunny's word. So
I did. So, you know, I still don't have my ticket for Allentown yet. I'm going to purchase it in the next 24 hours. Could my review persuade you to not make me go fly Han Solo?
it could. It
All
could.
right.
I could be a Luke Skywalker.
All right. So I'll have to try to persuade you offline here. I think it's a nice, and you know what? The tickets for Allentown were actually cheaper when I looked online than New Hampshire, which surprises me. I would have thought the other way around, not knowing a lot about salaries and economies in all of these states. I would have thought Pennsylvania is a higher income state than New Hampshire, and therefore the tickets would be more expensive in Pennsylvania, but shows what the hell I know, because you could get like the first section right by the stage, not the floor, but the first section right by the stage for $100, lower level.
Great.
I'm like, oh, you know, I can't say no to that. So I think they still floor seats for like $500 and $750. I don't need to go that expensive again, but I think you should really, since you're a self-made millionaire now. So
I am a self-made millionaire.
that's right.
Millionaire.
That's right. Exactly.
It's all right here.
That's,
all right here.
that's right. So you know, maybe I could even convince Baby Yoda to come with us, and you know, it could be a little roast of me for the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. You know, to me, worth it. And after Tuesday night, when I go see them again, that's going to be it until August when they're back around this area. And then after August, it might be that last final couple of weeks before the tour wraps up. So going back to your question before, should people go? I'm taking every opportunity while I can, because a little over a year from now, this is done, for at least for me. Even if they continue July 2021, I'm done. I'm out. So
I got this on record, so we got this on record.
That's right. That's right.
I'll believe it when I see it. So
that's right. That's right. So there you have it. That's my review of the show. Anything else you were wondering, since you weren't there? Anything else you were wondering about it?
No, I think you covered everything. Which you did a great job. So cool.
Alrighty, there you go. So there's my review of the latest leg of the Kiss tour. Go check it out if it's in your town. It's a great show, and hopefully, Vin, I can convince you, and we'll go Tuesday night together.
We'll see about that.
That's right, and I won't be as tight and raspy as I am now because I'll
Yeah,
get home
yeah.
a lot earlier. So, all right, everybody, thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Mike Brunn from the Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn. Vin, thanks for joining. Subscribe to my YouTube channel over there and head over to my Facebook page, The Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn, where every day we talk about all the rock and roll music you love. Till next time, peace out. Later.